Hello, true readers. I decided to make a little video from my car. I'm getting ready to wind it down for the evening. I thought maybe, being that I spend so much time here and I'm beginning to write about being here, that maybe it'd be a good idea to share a video from here. I had an interesting experience last week that I haven't written about, and I don't think I'm going to write about. But I had a passenger in here. And I'm only sharing this story with you because Michelle and a couple of others have said that they like hearing stories about me Ubering around. But I had this really, really nice woman in my car the other day. I picked her up in the Wilkinsburg area, and she seemed to be very jovial at first, and happy, and was very well dressed. And not to judge, but Wilkinsburg's a very poor area. It's very run down. When I see people dressed up in that area, I just assume that they are visiting. They're business people visiting for some reason. And when she got in my car, she seemed, rather upbeat at first, but quickly I could just tell that was fake. She was faking a sense of optimism, and I could see in her eyes through the rearview mirror that there was something wrong. And I asked her, I said, "Are you sure you're okay?" And then she just started to kind of tear up. And it turns out she had just come from a funeral. And it was a funeral for a young man of the age of 15 years old. And this young man was shot in his friend's basement in the chest. I believe it was the chest. He was shot more than once by his friend. And I suppose a few teenagers, got a hold of a gun in someone's home, and they were playing with it in the basement, and it went off. But she didn't believe it was. She didn't believe it was an accident. And this poor woman, and this woman, she was the aunt of this child. So she was very close to him. And then she started going on and on about, in a very selfless kind of way, she started going on and on about this boy's mother and about this boy's greater family. Her pain seemed to not exist. She was more concerned about the pain of others, and that's what made her really sad. And I took note of that. And it just reminds me that there is a lot of good in this world, and we can see it through pinhole vision, right? Pinholes through pieces of paper is when we can see the good. Because it's, if we think of the paper as tragedy and just negativity in life, through the pinhole we can see the good. It shines a little bit brighter through the pinhole. And that's what that reminded me of. And I just thought I'd share you that story. Otherwise, so sometimes I write about how I keep a little notebook in my car. This is it. I also keep one in my jacket. But I don't usually wear a jacket while doing this work. I layer my clothing to keep warm. I guess the other thing I wanted to tell you is just out of an interesting point in my day. I don't know if you guys are interested in any of this or not. If you're not, you can always stop the video, right? I'm not a podcaster. I had this really remarkable small event happen to me this morning or this afternoon when I first started working. So I got in a car and there was this little brown chirper bird. I don't know what they're called. We used to call them chimney swallows when I was a kid because they used to fly in and out of chimneys. They live in chimneys. But I don't know what they're actually. I think they're called finches. But there was a little finch, a little chimney swallow, sitting on a branch of a tree in my yard when I got in the car. And it was staring right at me through the windshield. And it just kept staring and staring and staring. And after a while, the face of the bird started to look like it was like wishing me luck on a good journey today. Or possibly showing me a little sympathy. I took notice of that, and I stared back at that bird for a while until it finally stopped and flew away. But took about a good 30 seconds or so. It was really interested in me for some reason. So I don't know. I don't know what that is. It was an interesting moment in my life, um, which I'll be writing about for sure. Okay. That's all I really had to say. I'm going to grab myself some dinner. It's about 9 o'clock on Friday, if you're wondering when I'm recording this. So, and usually on Fridays I don't work until midnight or so. I usually like to punch out a little bit early. I have a standing pseudo date with one of my best friends. We talk on the phone. Um, we haven't seen each other since a year because of the pandemic, and every Friday night we take the time to fill in each other on our weeks, work and family and friendships with other people. And we usually both have cocktails. It's actually pretty nice. And being that I am kind of isolated from others these days, it's nice to know that I have someone I can talk to on a regular basis. Um, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying safe. Oh, project update. Rebecca, my editor, she got the manuscript back to me. So I'm really hoping to get that out to you guys in like late February. I plan on taking a day off of this work to finalize her edits, so I can get it into production. Um, I still have to contact my artist and see if I can get the cover design done, um, finalized. That's going to take some time as well, but we're making progress. Okay, I promise. I'm just working so much; it's hard for me to find the time and to coordinate all this in a speedy kind of way. But I'm hoping late February. Okay. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Um, and I'll be talking to you. Have a good night.